Hello everyone and welcome to Total War Through the Ages. Starting off, we're going to be fighting a siege. Briti are attacking our one settlement here. This is the one settlement that we've come under attack by the Briti quite a bit since the start of the Civil War. So here we go, going into it. This is a pretty interesting battle. I skipped the deployment. You'll pretty much see how I deployed. I deployed pretty heavily on the left side over here because that's where a lot of the Briti actually had the siege tower and some ladders positioned over here. So I had my archers set up to try and burn down the siege tower. Unfortunately, they were unable to do so. Now, oddly enough, the Briti, they didn't advance up anywhere else except this position initially in this battle. So I don't know why that was, but all they did was just send up this siege tower and those ladders, and the rest of their guys just basically held position. So this ended up being actually kind of a smart move, I guess you could say, on the part of the AI, because I was very hesitant to shift reinforcements over, because the Briti, I kept expecting them to attack the other parts of the walls at any time. So I was very hesitant. And over here, I only had early legionaries and hastati, and then of course the one small unit of archers. I didn't have any of my regular legionaries, and they had both some urban cohorts and Praetorian Guard, I believe. I know for sure they had at least one unit of urban cohorts, and I think they had some Praetorian Guards over positioned here as well. So overall, their unit quality was superior to mine, and that was somewhat of a concern for me, of course. But again, here we go. They come in and they engage our hastati first, and then we got our early legionaries here at backing up as well. Our hastati break relatively quickly, kind of to be expected. I should have done a better job, or I could have done and should have done, of course, a better job of positioning some of these units over sooner. Again, mainly not so much those units, but rather I had a bunch of units over here that like I said, I was very hesitant to send reinforcements because they were I was worried they were going to attack other parts of the wall. Now, they had that one ram over there on the far side, or not far side, but over on the around the corner there, and that ram got destroyed. So at that point, I was like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and send that one unit back, because we don't have to worry about them attacking there since the ram was destroyed. And so I eventually start sending that unit over all the way around over to this side, kind of as a reinforcement, since I didn't feel the need that I had plenty of units defending the front section of the wall. Yeah, and these are the Praetorian, I believe those, yeah, that's the enemy Praetorian Guards there on the wall. And my early legionaries did pretty good over here, but they were going up against legionary cohorts, so it was what was a bit of a if I hadn't outnumbered them, that definitely would not have gone too well for me. Now, at this point, I finally decided to start sending some units over, but again, I was still very hesitant because they had a lot of ladders, or not a lot, but they had quite a few ladders positioned all at different intervals along this front wall, but they weren't doing anything with them. So I was worried, because I thought, they could, as soon as I start pulling troops away, that might trigger the AI to actually start attacking. But at the same time, it's like I was starting to lose over here. This unit, particularly right there, that unit of early legionaries was getting massacred by these Praetorian Guards, which is to be expected. That's not a fight I would ever expect early legionaries to win against Praetorians. So, and as you see here, like, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, what are they doing there? Or rather, what are they not doing? Well, I know what they're not doing. They're not attacking, and I don't know why, though. And that was kind of the main thing, is I was worried about why were they not attacking? Did the AI kind of get bugged out? I didn't know, because, of course, one of our battles of several episodes ago, the AI did get bugged out and basically stopped attacking after a certain point. So what I ended up doing is I have this unit of archers, which I was falling back to try and escape from the Praetorian Guards after my early legionaries were pretty much all but wiped out, and my two other units of early legionaries actually didn't do too well either. So as you can see there were quite a few dead bodies and some Briti still alive. So the archers go in to try and finish off those legionaries, and then I've got this unit of early legionaries, which was defending the main gate. We're pulling them over now, trying to get these archers, because I wanted to try and keep this unit of archers alive. And then I finally decided, all right, enough is enough. We're going to send some more reinforcements over. The enemy isn't really doing anything. I don't know why. And at this point, I'm like, okay, the AI just must be bugged. But I decide, okay, well, I'm still going to leave some units over here just to be safe, in case they do attack. But otherwise, I am pretty much just going to start sending more units over to this side to help. Because they did send some more other units to attack this walls. So they did send, I think, 2 or 3 other units that started coming up the siege tower. I think it was 2 units. They ended up sending 2 other units over, and so I was like, all right, well, they're definitely putting more pressure on over here, as you see there with those 2 units, so I'm going to go ahead and just start sending more units as well. Now, at this point, I was wanting to actually move my unit, some of the units up onto the wall. Well, actually, as you can see there, rather, I have some units on the walls that I'm moving along the wall. One of my units that was over defending the section near the gate. So this unit of legionaries, I decided, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and keep them on the wall. I brought the cavalry over here in case the enemy tried to get off the wall, but they didn't. So I had this unit of legionaries in Testudo because they were taking fire. But then here in a moment, I take them out to Testudo to have them charge up onto the walls. And my goal was to effectively attack from both sides and basically surround the enemy on the walls. So I pull my cavalry back because I realized, like, okay, they're not gonna, these guys aren't gonna be getting off the walls for a while. So I sped up here because this is a unit of legionaries, and we pretty much chew through that one weak unit, and we actually do a pretty good job of chewing through a lot of the other guys, just hacking our way through. And right here, this was a pretty close fight. And as you can see, like, it was very close. I lost quite a few guys here from this unit, but I eventually do cut my way through. And once we get through these guys, it's relatively easy of just sending this unit as quickly as possible over to support that unit that you see in the background there. We recaptured the tower there, which is useful, and then we pretty much wipe out that entire unit. And then we're going to have these guys rush on over here. Now, they're pretty badly beaten up, and so is this unit now. We are taking quite a few casualties. Not overall, but we're taking quite a few casualties in a few of our units that got either completely wiped out, or in the case of these 2 legionaries, definitely got very, very heavy casualties. But again, that's also partly because I should have sent more units over. But again, I was worried because I didn't know if the AI was going to stop, or I didn't know if the AI was going to start attacking, a little bit later on. So I ended up just using these few units. I send them over to kind of hold the siege tower, because at this point it was like, okay, well, they're not sending any more units. I'm not sure what's going on, but okay, at this point, like, okay, the AI obviously got to be bugged. So I send my unit of cavalry out, and we're going to try and see what we can do. We send them out, and then the enemy cavalry starts charging. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to just get back inside the gate. And then they keep coming out. And I was like, okay, we're going to see how long I can do this before the AI does anything. Because at this point, I'm just waiting for the time to run out. I actually should have sallied out and beaten the enemy, but they still actually outnumbered me. Or they may not have outnumbered me, but they had about the same number of guys I did, and they had better quality troops. So I was a little bit gun-shy about doing it. And I also, truth be told, I wasn't really feeling up to actually having to, like, work to win this battle. So I was like, okay, we're going to just wait for the time to run out. It's obvious the AI's bugged and isn't going to attack. So I ended up just playing a little game of cat and mouse here with my cavalry. And I just would bait the enemy cavalry to come close to where they got shot by our towers. And so also some of our units on the walls actually were able to use Pila against them. So, and this went on for a long time. I edited out a ton of this footage of me just having this on fast forward here, going in and out of the gate. But yeah, even though, like, you're not seeing a lot of it, and I actually left quite a bit of this in too. But again, nothing left to, like, it took me a long time. So eventually the unit kind of went off screen there, as you saw, and I was like, okay, what's going on? Are they still coming back in, or what? Because I was thinking, like, if worst case scenario, I could actually probably just charge them with my unit of cavalry and maybe the unit of auxilia to kill that unit. So as soon as they start moving back towards my cavalry, nope, I go back in. We're not going to fight you. We're not going to let you fight. So again, I pretty much keep doing this for a while, and in hindsight, I probably could have sallied out and actually just beaten the enemy completely. That probably would have been a better call, but ultimately I kind of opted not. I opted against it. So I do send my 2 generals out to try and kill their general, and I eventually come back inside, though we do rout the enemy general. And at that point, it's like, okay, clock's almost out, so we're gonna just sit here and finish let the clock run down and finish the fight. So this was actually overall a very lackluster battle for both myself and the Brutii. I could have sallied out and crushed the Brutii entirely, because as you see there, a lot of their guys made it out alive, you know, no problem. So that was a very interesting. Honestly, I just think it was a mistake on my part. Now, here on Sicily, we have the Scipii are attacking our relatively small. This is a pretty small army for us. As you see, it's only half full army that we were besieging the settlement with, but they attack preemptively, and so we're gonna go ahead, and this will be a relatively straightforward battle because, again, or well, it won't be relatively straightforward because of some stuff we'll get into in a moment, but I wasn't too worried about this battle going in because the Scipii didn't outnumber us, or I think they might have very slightly outnumbered us, technically in terms of units, but overall, we actually had more men because they had a lot of cavalry. So the main thing we did here was I mainly just wanted to attack, you know, again, normal thing, attack the army that starts on the field, wait for the and then crush them, and then by the time the reinforcements get into a position to help, it's too late, and the enemy army is already pretty, you know, half dead. So, skipping forward a bit here, we kind of started to encircle them a bit. I send my cavalry, my one unit of cavalry over onto the left, and their cavalry comes in relatively close, and actually pretty much just almost straight up charges our guys, but they don't actually charge, they stop, and then that just allows all my infantry to throw their javelins at them. And then, as you see here, we pretty much just charge. It's like, okay, you know, the enemy got close enough, we're going to just all-out charge and get engaged and stuck in. So, again, there's not a whole lot for me to say. This is pretty standard. This devolves into a fairly messy compared to some of my other battles. I pretty much just have everyone charge forward, and we basically just try and run them down and catch out everyone we can, which is pretty standard, again, like running down the enemy. But in this battle, again, things kind of devolved very quickly into just a giant melee. Wasn't a lot of tactics going on. As you can tell, I'm pretty much just having everyone charge, you know, whatever the nearest target is. Though we do we do get a little bit of encirclement going on there. We do kind of surround that one portion of the army, which routes relatively quickly because of that. And the enemy reinforcements are coming up, as you can kind of see there, or you could, yeah, right there in the back, top right corner. You can kind of see the enemy units coming up. So I was like, okay, well, we'll start rallying some guys. We'll start kind of sending some guys over to form a new line to combat them, you know, because the enemy army is pretty much routing. Now, what ended up happening here, which I'm getting ready to do a cut. What you see here is that I kind of edited some of it out, but the enemy army that we had, the one that started on the field that we engaged that had a lot of cavalry, that army actually ended up, a bunch of their units rallied. Not at once, though. Like, they had one unit rally and then another one rally a little bit later. And so, I cut it out because it wasn't very interesting, because all it did is I just had my one unit of cavalry, which was also like the unit that my captain was in. So I had the one unit of cavalry and then one of my units of infantry, one of my legionary units. I had them over spending time dealing with like the units that would rally. So again, I cut it out because it wasn't very interesting, but I just kind of wanted to point that out, that some of their units did rally, and I just had to have my general and one of my other units over there to deal with them. But again, we eventually got them to all break for good. And then we surround the enemy general there, the enemy reinforcing general, and pretty much the enemy army routed right off the bat. The Scipii do not have very good armies. They have very poor quality troops. Take out the enemy general there. But yeah, again, the Scipii, as I was saying, they don't have very high tier troops at all. And I don't know why. I guess they just got too far behind, which, I mean, I know that they were far behind. They're definitely the weakest of all three of the Roman factions, but I'm not sure what it was that kind of caused them to not have very good quality troops. But that's the end of this battle, and we don't actually, well, we do capture it here in just a moment, but as you see, I finally got a big fleet together, which we're going to be using to kind of just, you know, secure the Mediterranean for us, the true Romans. We capture this settlement here, which brings us to, I believe, only needing 4 more settlements to win, or maybe even fewer than that. I'm not sure. I don't believe I checked. But as I said, we do have a large fleet there, which we're going to go around basically just cleaning up a lot of the small navies there, and we kind of do a similar thing here. We're just we send out some of our units to clean up some of the Scipii on Sicily, and they actually retreat off onto the ships. So that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to check back for more Total War Through the Ages, and as always, thanks for watching.